warm welcome. I would like to thank Malini Mataji and the Sharanya team for giving me this opportunity. And today's topic is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, a prominent Acharya in the Vaishnava Gaudiya Parampara. So I have no qualification to speak about such an elevated entity, but nevertheless, it is for my purification and as a service to the devotees. So if I make any mistakes, please kindly excuse me. I'll start off with the prayers. Om Agnanaatimirandasya Gnananjalashalakhya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll be sharing the screen. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, as we know, is the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the principal work on the life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there is he was said to be born around the year 1520 AD. However, there's some confusion about his year of birth. So there are three likely dates which are said to be his year of birth. That is 1507, 1517, and 1528. So 1507, which is a little unlikely because as he would be 4 years older than Jiva Goswami, and Jiva Goswami was his Shiksha Guru. Then 1528 AD also, there is some element of doubt because Srinivas Acharya, who appeared a little earlier, could not get the darshan of all the Goswamis. Whereas Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami not only had the good fortune of taking darshan, but also receiving their mercy. So 1517 is the most likely date of his birth. So what little we know is from the autobiographical information that we get from the 5th chapter of the Adi Leela. He was born in Jhamadpura near Naihati in the Katwa region of Burdwan district in Bengal. So Krishnadas's parents were Bhagiratha Kaviraj and Sunanda. So Bhagiratha was a Vaidya, an Ayurvedic physician. So in Bengal, physicians were generally called Kaviraj. His father passed away when Krishnadas was 6 years old. And he also had a younger brother called Shamdas, who was 4 years old when his father passed away. So he, soon after, his mother also could not bear the separation, and she too passed away. So both the brothers were brought up by the relatives. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is said to have had a very cheerful disposition in his childhood. So he was a very disciplined and a very good-natured boy. So he belonged to a Brahmana Vaishnava family. So in his earlier years, he had studied grammar and astrology and was also a well-read scholar. So in his house, the deities of Madan Mohan and Gaur Nitai were worshipped. So he was a lifelong brahmachari. So, however, even about his caste, he's said to have had born in any of the three castes, that is Brahman, Kayastha or Vaidya. So it is difficult to contradict that those who claim that he belonged to a Brahmin family because of his extraordinary mastery of the scriptures. So we know that Chaitanya Charitamrita is the testimonial. And however, we cannot rule out the caste of Kayastha because he, in his books, he has revealed a soft corner and praised them for their intelligence and managerial talents. And also, some people claim that he was a Vaidya and Ayurvedic physicians. So what we need to know is all scriptures state that a Vaishnava is still the best of humankind. It does not matter in which caste he belongs. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami had a vision of Lord Nityananda. So there is a pastime which was a crucial event in his life. So he had organized 24-hour kirtan at his house. And amongst those invited was Nityananda's dear associate, Meenaketan Ramdas, who also lived in Jamatpura. So Meenaketan Ramdas was a great Vaishnava, an elevated soul who was full of love for Godhead. And he was always in a devotional, ecstatic mood. So in his devotional mood, so he also visited the Kirtan festival organized by Krishnadas and his younger brother Shamdas. So, so because of his ecstatic devotional mood, he would show symptoms of devotion. So sometimes he would have tears flowing from one eye, and whereas the other eye would remain dry. So, and his one limb would shiver, and the other would not be affected. So, and sometimes he would have eruptions on his body, which were like that of Kadamba flowers. So sometimes in his devotional fervor, he would sometimes, dance in a joyous mood, and the transcendental vibration would make people also transform into a devotional joyous mood. So sometimes, however they found, whoever came there, they would come forward and offer ecstatic obeisances to Meenaketan Ramdas. So in his ecstatic mood, sometimes he would climb over the shoulders of those who paid respect, and sometimes he would slap them or hit them with his flute. So, but there was one person in the Kirtan festival called Gunarnava Mishra, who was a priest in the festival. So, but he did not come forward to pay obeisances because he did not have faith in Lord Nityananda. So Ramdas ji got offended, and he became angry and criticized Meenaketan, got offended, and he criticized Mishra ji. He said, just look, a second Roma Harshana Suta who did not come forward to show respect when he saw Balram. So this is the incident which is being referred, wherein Roma Harshana Suta was speaking in the assembly of devotees in Naimisharanya when Lord Balram arrived. Because as Roma Harshana Sutta was sitting on the Vyasasana, he did not come forward to pay respects. So this angered Lord Balram. So the Lord Balram decided to chastise him for being puffed up by killing Romaharshana Sutta simply by striking him with a kusha grass. Coming back, so Shyam Das, the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's younger brother, hearing this got offended, and he had an argument with Meenaketan Ramdas. He said, like, how can you say such things to our priest who is an honorable man, and who is an honorable man, and he was Shamdas believed in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but lacked similar faith in Lord Nityananda. So upon hearing this comment, Meenaketan Ramdas got deeply wounded and became so angry that he broke his flute and went away. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami rebuked and chastised his brother and took the side of Meenaketan Ramdas. So he scolded his brother Shamdas by saying that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda are like one body. They are equal in spiritual manifestation. If you do not accept the divinity of Lord Nityananda, then as a result of which you will fall down. So having faith in one and not in the other is like accepting half hen. So this half hen theory is generally people are more inclined to have just the latter half of the hen because it lays eggs, whereas they do not want to accept or have the front part because of which because it has to be fed. So what use is a half hen? Either you have the whole or you do not have it at all. So it is like better than to be an atheist than be an hypocrite who believes in one and denies the other. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes that by taking the side of the Lord, he won the blessings of Lord Nityananda. So that night, Lord Nityananda came to him in a dream. So what we can understand here is that even a slightest display of love and attachment is enough for God to bestow upon the devotees all that they desire. So by the way of by the way of contrast, a person who holds devotees in contempt, though externally showing all the customary virtues, is eternally deprived of the Lord's mercy. So the example is given of Zamindar Ramachandra Khan, who committed offenses to Haridas Thakur, as a result of which he incurred Nityananda's displeasure. So not only did he lose everything, but his house was razed completely, leaving no remnants. So Shamdas also is said to have not progressed in his devotional life. So as a result of which, in that night, Lord Nityananda appeared in a dream to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So in the dream, the Lord Nityananda appeared as Lord Balram with a dark complexion, Kale Dauji. So Balram is usually fair, but in Nandgaon, Balramji you can find in a darker complexion. So in one of the lectures that I heard, where why Balram chose to be in a dark complexion is during that time, Kamsa used to send demons to find Krishna and so in order to misguide them. So he would to protect his brother, so he would take a darker complexion. So in the dream, we can see that Lord Nityananda appears in a well-built form with beautifully formed arms and limbs. He is seen wearing flower garlands made of scented flowers, and the fragrance was so fragrant that it attracted the bumblebees. And he's seen wearing gold bangles, anklets, and earrings, and he's seen surrounded by his associates, the cowherd boys, and he's seen holding a red stick. So, and he appeared so beautiful, like Cupid himself. So his face was more beautiful than millions of moons put together. So and and his teeth were tainted red because of eating beetle. So they looked like pomegranate seeds. So in the dream, uh, the Lord said, "O Krishnadas, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavan and attain things for which you are destined." After saying this, he indicated the way to Vrindavan by waving his hand and then disappeared with his associates. So So prior to the Goswamis coming into Vrindavan, Vrindavan had lost its glories. So in order to revive it, it was necessary. It was necessary for the Goswamis to come in one after the other. So the Vrindavan could be revived only when the temples could be built, and and the literature would be written, and also so that the deities would be installed in the temples, and the places of the pastimes of Krishna could be excavated. So for this purpose, the Lord sent the Goswamis one after the other. So all this had to be done in order to get back Vrindavan to its original glory. So firstly, Loknath Goswami came to Vrindavan, then Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, then Gopal Bhatt Goswami came from the south, then Raghunath Das Goswami and Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, lastly Jiva Goswami. So soon after the dream, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came to Vrindavan. So Srila Prabhupada writes in this connection, after reviving Vrindavan, Krishnadas became indifferent to talk about his previous family life and totally absorbed in devotion in Harikatha. So this behavior is appropriate for someone in the third or fourth order of life. So what we understand here is we can never imitate the Goswamis, but sometimes our past conditionings act as a stumbling block in our progress in devotional service. So in order to avoid this, we need to take the shelter of Guru and the holy name. So in Vrindavan, he had the fortune of getting the association and mercy of the six Goswamis. His Diksha Guru was Raghunath Das Goswami. However, there is a reference that Raghunath Bhatt Goswami also was his Guru. Because of the Raghunath Bhatt Ashtakam, he mentions that Raghunath Bhatt Goswami was his Guru. So nevertheless, the other five Goswamis were his Shiksha Gurus. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came under the direct protection of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. Under their guidance, Kaviraj Goswami advanced in devotional life. So from Sanatana Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj learned the final conclusions of devotional service. And Sanatana Goswami explains the philosophy of bhakti by the way of story of the Gopakumaras. And by the grace of Rupa Goswami, he could taste the nectar of devotional service. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes that with the mercy of Nityanand Prabhu, he could come to Vrindavan and get the association of the Goswami. So through what we can learn is that through God's mercy, we can get a guru, and with the guru's mercy, we can get bhakti and advance in devotional life. So the benefit we reap by getting the mercy of Vaishnavas is manifold. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is a spiritual name, and his spiritual identity in the Vraja Leela is that of Kasturi Manjari, one of the 8 principal Manjaris. So he was given the title of Mukut Mani. If we can take anyone's name after the 6 Goswamis, it is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's name. So he was one amongst the 8 Goswamis. So his first writing was his first writing was Govind Leelamrit. Then he wrote a commentary on Krishna Karnamrit. Krishna Karnamrit was written by Bilva Mangala Thakur, but the most magnificent of his work is his writings of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the magnum opus. So Jiva Goswami gave Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami as the title of Kaviraj for his poetic masterpiece, Govinda Leelamrit. So Srila Prabhupada writes, Chaitanya Charitamrita is the composition by someone who has reached the status of Paramahamsa and is completely beyond the four ashrams of life. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami composed Chaitanya Charitamrita when he was really old. So he would approximately be around 90 years. So his hands were trembling then, and he could not see properly. He was so his hands would be trembling. Then he could not see properly. Then he was turning deaf and losing memory. So it took him about 6 to 7 years to complete it, and he's said to have finished approximately in the year 1615 AD. So in Vrindavan those days, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami was the first amongst those to give discourses in Srimad Bhagavatam in Govind Mandir. So later on, Chaitanya Bhagavat was got from Bengal. So before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before Chaitanya Charitamrita, there were other biographies on the life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur, then there was Chaitanya Mangal by Lochan Das, and then there was Chaitanya Charit. So Chaitanya Bhagavat was written by Vrindavan Das Thakur and was discussed during those days in Govind Mandir. So Vrindavan Das Thakur was a Vyasadeva incarnate who compiled Lord Krishna's pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. He had discussed the Lord's pastimes in such a way as to make it sweeter and sweeter. So Chaitanya Bhagavat focused more on the Navadvip Leela, and Lord Chaitanya's Neelachala Leela was incomplete. So the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is love and separation in the Gambhira Leela, was not mentioned at all. So Vrindavan Das Thakur wrote an elaborate outline of Mahaprabhu's Leela in the beginning of Chaitanya Bhagavat. But as he was absorbed in describing Nityananda's activities, many events mentioned in the outline were left out in the final version of the book. So Mahaprabhu's devotees Mahaprabhu's devotees, headed by Haridas Pandit of Govind Mandir, approached Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, requesting him to write down the full version of the pastimes. So at first, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was reluctant to compose because he did not want to surpass the previous acharyas. But later on, he agreed because he could not refuse something, because it was a service to his guru and the devotees. So however, he took care not to mention those pastimes which were already discussed in Chaitanya Bhagavat, but elaborated on those pastimes which were outlined in the beginning of Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. So in Vrindavan at that time, there were not many temples. So Madan Mohan, Radha Govind and Gopinath were the principal deities. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami offered his respects to the deities in those temples and requested God's favor. So he writes, my progress in spiritual life is very slow. So I'm asking your help. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami first offers his obeisances to Madan Mohan deity. So relationship can be established with Krishna by worshipping Madan Mohan. Then he worships Govinda deity so that there is actual acceptance of the service, and therefore he's also called the functional deity. The Gopinath deity is Krishna as the master and proprietor of the gopis. So just as Krishna attracted the gopis by the sweet sound of the flute, he prays that he may also attract the reader's mind through the transcendental vibration. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami took the shelter of the deity of Madan Mohan. So we can see the beautiful image of Madan Mohan here. And he asked for permission before starting to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So when so the garland from the Madan Mohan deity falls down as an indication of the Lord's approval. So the garland was given by the pujari and placed around Kaviraj Goswami's neck. So taking the garland as the Lord's wish, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita in full humility. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was a treasure house of humility. So it is for this reason that he begins each chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he begins each chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita with invocations of Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya, and concludes each chapter with a prayer for the service to the feet of Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Goswamis. So in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, I offer my respects to spiritual masters. He uses the plural to indicate a disciplic succession. It is not that he offers obeisances to the spiritual master alone, but to the whole parampara, the chain of disciplic succession, beginning with Lord Krishna himself. Thus, the Guru is addressed in the plural to show the author's highest respect for all the Vaishnavas. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes here, Chaitanya Charitamrita is being dictated to me by Madan Mohan. My writing is like the repetition of a parrot. I write as Madan Mohan offers me, just as a wooden puppet is made to dance by a puppeteer. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami makes use of the notes made by Swarup Damodar and Murari Gupta. So Swarup Damodar was a close associate and a secretary to Mahaprabhu, and he maintained a diary called Karcha. So recording Mahaprabhu's pastimes, teachings, and philosophical discussions. So Murari Gupta, also another close associate of Mahaprabhu, was a physician. So he also maintained Karcha. So in the Raghunath Das Goswami, he served under Swarup Damodar. So he had memorized everything. Swarup Damodar's notes were memorized by Raghunath Das Goswami. So in Radha Kund, the Goswamis would gather and to discuss the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami would attend and make use of all those notes. So he writes that though I am insignificant living being, through blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I have summarized in writing everything Swarup Damodar has recorded in his notes about the Lord's pastime, as well as everything I heard from the mouth of Raghunath Das Goswami. So Narottam Das Thakur has stated, Krishnadas Kaviraj Rasika Bhaktamaj Jeno Kaila Chaitanya Charita Gaura Govinda Leela Shunite Galeye Shila Tahate Na Hailamora Chitta. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami stands out amongst the devotional literati, for he is the author of biography of Mahaprabhu. He describes both Gaura and Govinda Leela, hearing which a stone would melt. Alas, so my mind is not being attracted by these words. So here the meaning of stone is also taken in the literal sense, and also refers to our hearts, which have turned hard because of our forgetfulness of the Lord. Here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is honored with the title of Kaviraj, King of Poets, for his Govinda Leelamrit. He is respected in the Vaishnava world as the best amongst the followers of Rupa Goswami. So it took around 6 to 7 years for him to complete the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he lived a renounced life at Shama Kund near Manasa Pavana Ghat, Radharani's midday bathing place. So we can see the cottage here. So this is where he's said to have completed writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He wrote it here as well as in Madan Mohan temple. So the Goswamis had compiled many literatures. So especially Jiva Goswami, and the mission of the successors of the Goswamis, mainly Narottam Das, Shyamananda Pandit, and Srinivas Acharya, were to distribute these books. So you would have already heard it in the pastimes of Srinivas Acharya and Narottam Das about how the original manuscripts which were being transported from Vrindavan to Gauradesh in an ox cart, and how it was stolen, but later retrieved. So when it was stolen, the word got out. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came to know about it, and he was so devastated that he jumped into Radha Kund to drown himself. But nothing happened to him. So actually he was in a state of constant anxiety to get back the manuscripts. So once when the manuscripts were retrieved, so it was then that he took a huge sigh of relief. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is not intended for the novice. It is a postgraduate study of spiritual knowledge. So ideally one begins with Bhagavad Gita and advances through Srimad Bhagavatam to Chaitanya Charitamrita. So totally there are around 11,515 shlokas, both in Sanskrit as well as in Bengali. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is divided into 3 parts, Adi Leela, Madhya Leela, and Antya Leela. So Adi Leela, description has been given right from the birth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu until he took sannyas. So that there are totally about 17 chapters. So in Madhya Leela, after taking sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Puri. So description of the first 6 years he spent in Puri after taking sannyas is included in Madhya Leela. There are about 25 chapters. The Antya Leela, that is the last 18 years of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, is described in the Antya Leela. So there are about 20 chapters. So Chaitanya Charitamrita has all aspects of bhakti in it. It describes Mahaprabhu's pastimes, the teachings, the philosophical discussions he had with devotees, and about the Radha and Krishna's pastimes, and references from references from the Vedas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranas, Brahma Samhita, Bhagavad Gita, Gita Govind, then Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Krishna Karnamrit has been included in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, you are drinking nectar. As you read in association of devotees, you experience immense joy. So it appears as though Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has dived into the ocean of bhakti and removed jewels and made a garland out of it. So by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can keep Radha and Krishna in your hearts. The subject matter of Chaitanya Charitamrita is primarily deals with what is beyond material creation. So with words of humility, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami proclaims the glories of Nityananda Prabhu. So he says, I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai, and lower than a maggot in a stool. Whoever hears my name loses the result of virtuous deeds, and whoever utters my name commits sin. Other than Nityananda, could anyone show mercy to one as abominable as me? Nityananda is the incarnation of mercy. He is intoxicated by ecstatic love, and that he does not discriminate between the good and the bad. He delivers anyone who falls down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful, fallen person as me. So Jagai and Madhai, though belonging to a Brahmana family, were sinners of the first order. There was no sin that they had not committed, including the killing of cows and Brahmanas. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami calls himself more sinful than Jag and Madhai and lower than a maggot in a stool. So stool is abominable. So a worm in it is unthinkable. So such was his level of humility. So generally in the material world, everyone aspires for name and glory. But Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was a living example of humbler than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. So from the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, we can understand a little better how he was to, how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was to Radharani. So while Vishwanath Chakravarti was writing his commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, he was unable to understand why Kaviraj Goswami had written that the Kama Gayatri mantra consists of 24 syllables rather than 25. So he became so distraught by his inability to understand that he finally took a vow to starve to death on the banks of Radhakund. So as he slept in the middle of the night, Radharani appeared to him in a dream and said, "Oh Vishwanath, get up. Krishnadas has written correctly. He is my dear girlfriend who brings me much pleasure. I have blessed him so that he can understand the most intimate truth about myself." So even today, today in Chamatpura, in Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's house, there is a small temple containing Nityananda's footprints. So local legend says that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami received Nityananda's initiation into the mantra in this very spot. But this is not true. Lord Nityananda appeared only in the dream. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he never took darshan of Lord Nityananda, nor Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but however, according to Prema Vilasa, he received initiation from Raghunath Das Goswami. So in the temple, there's also a wooden sandal, which is said to have been Krishnadas's. And his deities of the Gaur Nitai deities, which he used to worship, is also present there. And there is his Pushpa Samadhi. You can see his Pushpa Samadhi there, and that's and also the Bhajan Kutir of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So this is the Samadhi of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He has said to have left his body in the year approximately around the year 1616 AD. So while Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was once glorifying, when he was giving a class, he was glorifying the superlative character to his disciples. He instructed them as follows: if it were to happen that all the books in the world were destroyed, leaving Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, then people in this world would still be able to achieve the ultimate goal in life. Even if Srimad Bhagavatam were lost, leaving only the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there would be no loss to humanity, for that which has not been revealed in Bhagavad is found in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The supreme absolute truth is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the combined form of Radha and Krishna. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is the sound incarnation. The divine mystery of Radharani's divine status and glories are found therein. So from the Jaluduta diary of Srila Prabhupada, we can understand how much personally he took shelter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So at times he would face life-threatening situations during his journey to the United States. So Srila Prabhupada writes, I'm taking my food regularly and got some strength to struggle. And I'm feeling slight headache also, but I'm struggling, and the nectarine of life is Chaitanya Charitamrita, the source of all my vitality. So in another letter, he writes, I feel better today, but I am feeling separation from Sri Vrindavan and my Lord Sri Govinda, Gopinath, Radha Damodar. The only solace is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in which I am tasting the nectarine of Lord Chaitanya's Leela. So what are the benefits that we get when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita? So reading Chaitanya Charitamrita can restore purification of heart, knowledge of devotional service and transcendental bliss to the reader, as promised in the below verses. Chaitanya Charitamrita Nitya Nutana Shunite Judaya Hridaya Shravana. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is ever increasingly fresh. For one who hears it again and again, the heart and ear becomes pacified. Chaitanya Charitamrita Nitya Karapana Yaha Hoite Premananda Bhakti Tatvagnana. O devotees, relish daily the nectar of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for by doing so, one can merge in transcendental bliss to attain full knowledge of devotional service. Chaitanya Charitraye Amritera Sindhu Karna Mana Tripta Kare Yara Eka Bindu. The life and characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are exactly like an ocean of nectar, one drop of which can please the mind and ear. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that the characteristics of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are like sugar cane that one can chew to relish transcendental juice. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is the shop where you can find this transcendental sugarcane to chew. So he also compares the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to an ocean which is immeasurable and unfathomable. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami adds that it is not possible to dip into that great ocean, but its sweet, mellow fragrance attracts my mind and therefore stands on the shore of that ocean to try to taste but a drop of it. He desires that everyone join along with him to taste that drop and offer all glories to the listeners of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita who have accepted it as their life and soul. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's books show his skill in Shrutis, Smritis, Nyaya, Jyotish Shastra and the culinary arts. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is the main work on the life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the incarnation of Krishna, who appeared in India about 500 years ago. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the chanting of the holy name as the prescribed method of God realization, and he transformed the face of India, philosophically defeating and converting the greatest philosophers of his day. Secondly, by organizing Harinam Sankirtan movement in India's history. So I will end it here. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. That was very nice. Those verses you sang in the end are from where?
Mataji is from Chaitanya Charitamrita itself.
Start beginning, is it? You get these verses or?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, that was very nice, Mataji. Nicely you presented to the life and teachings of. Anybody has any questions? You can ask Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Nandini.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Very beautiful class, ma. Very, very nice class. You have done a lot of research work. Very good. Very nice. Thank you, Nandini.
Thank you, Mataji.
It was nice to see, like, you know, how they got the answer. They want to do something. He want to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then how he gets the answer by the garland falling from Madan Mohan. So these great souls, how they got the answers for everything that they had to do from the Lord. That was very nice. Your presentation.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I just missed out one thing. The house of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami you showed, no? The location, yes. Where is it actually? I actually missed out.
That is the Shamakund, Mataji. The Manasa Pavana Ghat, the Radharani's midday bathing place. So that is where his cottage is near Radhakund.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very nice class, Mataji. Lot of explanation. Thank you.
Actually, there's a steps coming down there. Actually, when you showed the picture, I was remembering the last time when we went, we came down the steps there to come to Radhakund Shyamkund. But I did not realize that was the house.
Yes.
That was his cottage. Now, when you showed, I'm thinking, oh, this is the place that we saw. Sometimes you don't look around and read the boards. The board is also there, I think, but I have not read. In our excitement of seeing Radhakund Shyamkund and what we have to do there, I've not seen the board. That you show the cottage, I recollected that this was the place.
Yes, Mataji.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you for sharing with us today. Let us one time chant the Hare Krishna mantra for thanking by showing our gratitude to Mataji. Pardon, somebody wants to say something?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.